No, it's just basically the thing that says that we're requesting funding. Yes, we are going to be applying for funding. Yeah, basically. That's okay.
Greg Filios, Chris Robel.
Okay. Oh, jeez.
Ready? I'm, all right, very good. Thank you all for joining us at 6:01. I am calling to order the open session of this evening's Morgan Hill Unified School District Board of Education. I believe our student board member, Paredes Yeso, is going to lead us in the pledge. Yes? Thank you. Oh, it's over there. It moved.
I like that better.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We'll move to item C, the introduction of board members and staff. To keep it interesting, we'll start at the far left of the table with our Assistant Superintendent Tavares.
Good evening,
Am I-
everyone. I'm Diana Tavares, and I'm the Assistant Superintendent of Human Resources.
Good evening, Kobara Chang, Assistant Superintendent of Business.
Good evening, buenas noches. Diana Jimenez, Assistant Superintendent of Educational Services.
Good evening and welcome, Pamela Gardner, Trustee, Area 4.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Ronnie Paredes Hassel. I'm the student board member.
Good evening, Claudia Estrada, Executive Assistant to the Superintendent.
Good evening, Carmen Garcia, Superintendent. I'd like to welcome our Spanish-speaking community. A nuestra comunidad de habla hispana tenemos traducción simultánea. Por favor, hagan clic en el icono del mundo debajo de la pantalla. Gracias por estar con nosotros.
Thank you. Welcome, everyone. John Horner, Trustee and Board President.
Happy Friday, Junior, everyone. Veronica Andrade, Board Vice President, Trustee Area 7. Sorry. I should know this. Mr. Escoto, I should know this. Sorry.
Good evening, Sarah Northrop Gaddis, Board Clerk.
Good evening and welcome, Jennifer Marquez, Trustee for Area 5.
Good evening, Rebecca Munson, Trustee.
Thank you all, and again, welcome to those in the room and joining us online. Now we will move to closed session action report, and we have nothing to report out of closed session. So we will move on to F1, recognizing the Kiwanis Club of Morgan Hill as one of the community organizations which supports our students in so many ways. think Dr. Garcia, you have a few words to add? Yeah, we did. We just didn't, oh, we motioned, did I miss that, adopting? Sorry, thank you. That's why it takes a village to keep the board president in line. Sorry, yes. Do we have a motion to adopt tonight's agenda? Thank you. Who is that? Trustee Munson, a second?
Second.
Thank you, Vice President. Student Board Member Paredes? Yes, sir. Aye. All others? Aye. None opposed. Okay, that carries. As I said, no closed session actions to report, and back to the Kiwanis Club. Thank you, Dr. Garcia.
We are delighted to have so many Kiwanians here present. Morgan Hill, Club Morgan Hill, the official title is Kiwanis Club of Morgan Hill. I'd like to ask Jane Perriman, who's currently the president of Kiwanis, to please come up to. Thank you so much. We are projecting just a handful of the many partnerships that Morgan Hill Kiwanis provides, not just our students, but our faculty, our staff, and our students primarily. Ansobrado High School has a Keek Club. Britton Middle School has a Builders Club. P.A. Walsh Elementary K-Kids. We also have robotics sponsorship at Britton Middle School. They also support us with our Live Oak High School robotics team as well. They partner with Cal Soap. They also partner with Edward Boss Prado, in particular with the Fit for Fall. They provide backpacks and hot dogs. Central High School, you also provide, thank you all so much, and end of the school year barbecue. And the turnaround scholarships are quite amazing. And so I'd like to now hand the mic over to President Perriman, who can talk a little bit more about the turnaround scholarships. And then I'll hand it over to Board President Horner.
The turnaround scholarships are based on the concept that.
Make sure that one's on.
Is it on? Okay.
Get closer.
There we go.
All right. Turnaround scholarships are based on the concept that it is not a one and done scholarship. This is basically given through every semester. They prove to us academic standing and that they are taking required number of credits, and we will continue that for 5 years. We will give it to them every semester. So it does help them tremendously, because I know a lot of students, they may be on scholarship, but we give them their scholarship essentially every semester for the entire length of their schooling. And it doesn't have to be community college. It doesn't have to be a four-year school. It can be a trade school. So we're, staying very open, particularly with students that have to break away for a little while and then come back. They come back, we'll be there for them. So it's really, that kind of commitment, though, requires us to do a lot of fundraising. So we do a lot of fundraising through what we're doing right now is through sponsorships with our parade. We do the holiday parade in Morgan Hill, downtown Morgan Hill. It'll be happening on the 6th of December. And we do also sell hot dogs. You've probably seen that at Friday Night Music. And we have some other ways of like picking up ballots for the Registrar of Voters. And we make some money there. So we are a very busy club, and we are so proud of what we do. And supporting the youth in our community is our number one.
Thank you. I'm going to lead the witness here a little bit, as I'm also a member of Kiwanis, so I know more about this than otherwise might. But maybe you can share, with our handful of several dozen members, how much money a year has the club been distributing for youth and related activities in the community?
So over the last 3 years, we have given $50,000, $75,000, and this year we plan on giving $100,000. We do not leave the money in the bank account. We don't have an endowment. We spend it. And you know what? It's a good feeling.
Thank you. Very good. Please, Trustee Marquez.
So with the money that you're giving away, is that from all the fundraising that you do, from the parades and the hot dogs and so forth? You accumulate all that, and that's what you use for the students?
So we basically say we're going to leave this amount of money in the bank account after the year is done. period, usually about 10,000 to 25,000, depending on the account, and we basically spend the rest.
Thank you for that.
Please, Vice President Andrade.
As a former English teacher at Central High School, I just want to say I had many students who were recipients of the Turnaround Scholarship. And I don't know if you are aware of just the difference that you made in their lives of attending colleges like Mission, Evergreen, and finding their way and, taking a break, but coming back. And so I really want to thank you for your support. I know for those students, it meant the world to be recognized and validated. So thank you for that.
And we have some great mentors that keep contact with those students, and they get a telephone call or they get a text, an email, reminding them, hi, are you going to up your scholarship again this semester? How can we help you? Do you have some challenges that we can help you with? We work with CalSOAP, obviously, and they help also. So it's basically a way to keep them motivated and keep them moving forward.
Thank you. I'll invite you and the rest of Kiwanis Club up here. We'll take some pictures, give you a nice certificate.
Are all of us on it? I'm gonna get on Adam's back.
We have this beautiful $100,000 certificate. Well. What do you know?
You can take it for yourself,
No.
How are we gonna do this? How are we staging this? There you go.
One more step. Okay, and then you, everyone listen this way. 1, 2, 3. All right, this one. 1, 2, 3. And then I have one more here. It's still open. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you. Thank you
Not that I know.
What was that?
Well, that was fun. I was subconscious that I wore blue tonight. Something in the back of my head said, wear your blue shirt. I can't believe I blew right past adoption of the agenda. Okay. Thank you for all the work. What? What's 10,000 quesadillas amongst friends?
I know, I was gonna say. The quesadillas. Thank you for the quesadillas at Friday Night Music, Mr. Escoto. Yes, yes.
Thank you for reminding. Okay. Very good. Well, it's wonderful. It's just, and we will keep doing this. You know, we have our whole tree of the many community organizations that support our students and schools. So our intention is to keep working our way around the tree because it's important to take the time to say thank you. We include parent groups and others, thousands of people, adults in this community doing their bit in addition to the work that happens within the district. So greatly appreciated. So more to come. It's not the last time you'll see such a thing. Now we move on to item F2, our Nordstrom Elementary presentation. Principal Gardner Green and the some of the staff. I don't think you're all here. Probably most people wanted to actually go home and get ready for
It was
tomorrow.
a little rainy, I think.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes. Hi, good evening. President Horner, Board of Trustees, Dr. Garcia. It's great to be here, Morgan Hill community. Thank you for coming out in the rain. I have with me our Home and School Club President, Brooke King. She's going to talk for a minute about our community engagement programs that we do at Nordstrom. And we had a teacher that was coming, but she couldn't make it tonight. So I will do my best to speak on her behalf, but I won't do half as good of a job as she would have done. So I'm Garner Green, principal at Nordstrom. Okay, so here we have a snapshot of Nordstrom enrollment by grade. As of today, we were around 645 students. So since this has been published, we got one more. We have 3 TK classes this year, which is really exciting, 3 full TK classes. We have 4 kindergarten, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd grade classrooms. And then we have 3 4th grade and 3 5th grade classrooms. Next slide. This slide presents our Nordstrom student groups. So these are some of the student groups that we monitor really closely to make sure they're making progress and to make sure that we are serving them to the best of our ability and ensuring their success. So 8% of our students at Nordstrom are currently learning English. So that's 53 of our students out of the around 645. 10% of our students have IEPs, which means that they have special education services. This includes our TK to 5 full inclusion program. And then 150 of our students are currently experiencing economic hardships, and we make sure that we really track them closely, provide the support we can, work with the district office, the care team, student services to make sure that these students are getting as much support as we can give them, get them to school every day, and then help support them and grow in their academics and social emotional well-being. This is one of my favorite slides of the presentation. So this is our Nordstrom student demographics as of a couple weeks ago. If you go to a Safeway or a Trader Joe's in Morgan Hill, Carmen and I were just talking about this recently. Nordstrom looks, a lot like you would see in a public place in Morgan Hill. So our demographics really mirror the demographics of Morgan Hill as a city. And it's one of my favorite things about this school. We have so many different backgrounds, ethnicities, people that come to us from all sorts of backgrounds that come together. And we really are a wonderful, beautiful demographic of melting pot at Nordstrom. So this is our demographics. Next slide, please. Maybe this is my favorite slide. I don't know. There's a lot of great ones. Our staff is amazing. So we have 39 certificated teachers at Nordstrom and 24 classified staff. Again, we have a TK through 5 full inclusion program. I will say the teachers at Nordstrom are what make the magic happen, right? I'm just there to support them, and our support staff are incredible as well. Our teachers have embarked on lots of professional learning as this year's gone on, thanks to district initiative and school initiatives. They are learning how to pull in universal design for learning into their classrooms, constructing meaning to help support our students that are learning English. They're embarking on a math journey. That's one of our big goals that I'll show you in a minute. Math journey to really pull in task-based math and make sure our students are really engaged in their math instruction. And then how do we translate that to our state test scores and our iReady? So our staff is committed to student success, and they are really amazing, and we couldn't be who we are without them. So we really are a family, and they're just wonderful. So that's our staff. So I'm going to highlight just a few of our SIPSA goals. We'd be here all night if we went into depth on all of them, and I know that that's not what we want to do. So one of the SIPSA goals that I wanted to highlight is our iReady goals. And so this year we have a goal that 85% of our students will be proficient, so at or above grade level in reading by the end of the year, and 75% will be on grade level by the end of the year in math based on iReady assessments. You'll see at the bottom on the baseline that 75% at the end of the year were proficient in reading and 58% were proficient in math. This was the end of 24-25 when they took their June assessment. And if you will go to the next slide, you will see this is our beginning of the year data. if you take a look, there are the green columns, which means those are students that are already on grade level or above grade level. And this was taken the first couple of weeks of school. And then the yellow, which can look alarming, but the yellow actually means that those students are performing on the grade level that they just left. So for example, if you have a second grader who scored in the yellow, that means they were performing on a first grade level, which they just finished first grade. And so that's good. So our goal this year, I think, is incredibly attainable. And according to our amazing staff, they are ready to take this on. So as of the beginning of the year, 78% of our students were either on one grade level below, which was the grade they just finished, in reading, and then 70% were at or above ready to make the growth in math. So we are on our way and very hopeful that we can meet those SIPSA goals. For our community engagement goal that I'd like to highlight, this is a new goal for us this year and really excited in collaboration with Karina from our FACE Center. We developed a goal to try to have more opportunities for students to engage in their classrooms and with their learning. So we have incredible community events at Nordstrom, which Brooke will talk about, but these events are different and they are supposed to invite our families into the classrooms to experience the learning of their students. So this might be a science fair, this might be a math night, this might be a performance that they put on. Our fourth grade does a Gold Rush or Bust program, and the students can come in and watch. There's a picture here of the State Hat Fashion Show. These are our fifth graders. This is a picture from a couple of years ago, but these students all take one state, they research it, and they do a fashion show with their hats right at the end of the year, and it's a great event. So we just want to give families another opportunity to come in and really participate in those instructional experiences. So last year, we had about 5 grade levels that held these type of events, and our goal this year is 14. So that would be 2 per grade level, and we're really hoping to meet that. Our student engagement and school culture goal that we are highlighting this year is sort of a humble brag, but also something that we really take a lot of pride in. So in 2024 and 2025, Nordstrom received the Platinum PBIS status from the Santa Clara County Office of Education. And that is a huge testament, again, to the wonderful teachers that I just talked about and their commitment to making sure that students come to school every day and they are in a positive environment, they learn really clear expectations, and they know what happens if they don't meet those expectations is we teach them what they need to learn, and that's our tier 1. So you can see in the purple column, our 2025, which was last spring, our scores from the county, 93%, we got a 93% on the tiered fidelity inventory. For our tier 1, those are our universal prevention models. 92% for our tier 2. Those are our students that just need a little bit of help. And then our 88% we got for our tier 3, which are intensive interventions. And so we have an action plan for this coming year where we will really target those areas so we can try to get up to that 99, 100% in all 3. But this is, again, one of the reasons that Nordstrom feels like a big warm hug when you come on campus. Okay. One of our wonderful teachers was supposed to be here tonight to present on the professional learning teams. She did send me some notes, but she mentioned that, they've always had planning time. Our teachers have always really been collaborative, have been at Nordstrom for 7 years, and it's a very collaborative staff. But the PLT time, when we introduced the prep periods for teachers, really allowed teachers to have a chance to reflect on student data, respond in real time, make decisions based on assessments, look at student work. And our teams, these pictures were not staged. These pictures were me. I knew their times. I had no one in their meeting, and I would go in and they were meeting and they were working and they're collaborating about students and their data, and they're having a lot of fun and they're laughing. If you open the door, they're laughing and they're eating lunch together. And it's just a really great environment for learning. These are some of the ways that we engage our students. I put some pictures here. On the top left, you will see students, they're in their rainbow colors. Every grade level has a different color of the rainbow that, just presents their grade, and they wear them to our Lions Den each month, which is an assembly that we have. And we focus on a character trait or a part of PBIS that we're working on that month, or a focus. And so we have skits. They're kind of small at the front, but you can see a couple of teachers putting on a skit. They have a Nordstrom Spirit pot, and they get the kids all riled up and excited. And our attendance is great on Lions Den days because the kids love to come. We also try to really engage students with fun experiences at school. On the bottom left, we had a planetarium assembly that was funded by our home and school club, and the students really, really enjoyed it. They got to learn a lot about space and astrology, all of the different things. It was wonderful. Astronomy, not astrology. Goodness, they did not learn about astrology. On the top right and the bottom right, those are pictures from one of our community-based organizations, Morgan's Cove. Our 5th grade took a field trip there. We were lucky enough, we were right around the corner, so they were able to walk, had some lunch, and they really enjoyed that field trip. It tied directly to 5th grade state standards, and the kids had a really great learning experience there. And then on the bottom, the middle picture on the bottom, you'll see a picture of our buddies. So all of our classes have a buddy class. So 1st grade classes are paired with 5th grade classes, and kindergartners with 3rd graders. And so here you see about once a month, right after our Lions Den assembly, the kids will get together with their buddies and they do an art project, or they'll read a book, or our 5th grade teachers sometimes get really brave and tie-dye t-shirts with 100 1st graders and 100 5th graders. So I should probably send a board invitation that day. You guys would really like that. So these are just some of the ways that we try to make learning fun and engaging, because if you're not having fun, what's the point, right? So that's just one of the ways. Okay, I'm going to turn it over to Brooke to talk a little bit about how we engage our family community.
All right, thank you. Put this down a little bit, I'm a little short. So piggybacking off what Garner said, they do a lot with the staff and everybody to community engagement with the school and students. We also try to engage our parents as well and the families. So we do a lot to get everyone together and grow our community at Nordstrom. A couple of slides you'll see up here. The first one, first week of school or second week, we did a back to school movie night, and we invited all of our families to come out to the lawn and watch Minecraft. And 5th grade students sold concessions, and everyone was welcome. It was a free event that we put on, and we had hundreds and hundreds of families out there. And it was the first time we've done that. It was a great way to welcome everyone back to the school and say hello and get back into the swing of things for the school year. We do, another photo that you see up here is our mom's night out. We are currently having our dad's night out happening right now, which I'll have to go after and check on them. When we recently had ours over at Bubbles and Brews, we had about 75 moms come out and had a fabulous time. It's a great way to connect and grow our community. You'll see down at the bottom here, that's our Fall Fest that we just had about a month ago now. Another free event that is open to the community that is always a huge success, and the kids absolutely love it. And everyone invites their friends and their families, and not just Nordstrom students, but their entire families come out, and it's always a wonderful evening. On the top left, you'll see that was our foam party. That's something that we also do to get the kids that finish their summer packets. Actually, they get a big reward, and we have a foam party come out to the school, and they all really love it. And I think it's really helped increase participation with kids finishing their packets. So we love to be able to sponsor that every year. We also, we do the holiday parade. We did that for the first time last year, and the kids loved it. We're planning on doing it again this year. And we also do, it's partly fundraising, but it's parent-hosted parties where certain families host parties, and families buy tickets. They range from like $20 to $40, and they get an experience. For example, we're hosting like a football party this weekend for, 30 people. They come, and it was like $20 to come, and we're providing food, and families of similar interests all come together and hang out. So another way of engaging the community. It's a little bit of a fundraiser, but we do a bunch of different things. So those are just some of the things that we do to grow our community here at Nordstrom.
Yeah.
Okay, and then finally, this slide is to highlight our after-school programs. We started these programs about 3 years ago. They've been going on a long time, but we really ramped it up about 3 years ago. And so students have an opportunity to have some enrichment after school. And we have a lot of students that attend Amplify or other after school, daycare or childcare services. And we wanted to give them another way to connect with the school and to have an experience they may not have time to have at school. And so these are just some of the pictures of some of the after school programs that we are currently holding. Running club, we participate in the Wildflower Run. I think we've gotten their little ducky, maybe 3 years. 3 years, I think, for the best participation in the Wildflower Run. So we really get our kids out there exercising, running, show up in the Wildflower Run. It's usually raining, not sure why, but they will come out and do running. We have a 5th grade teacher that runs a coding club that's really impressive, and they're doing some great things. We have some all sports clubs, Spanish club, piano, crochet, calligraphy, art, soccer. We're just starting a dance club after school. So these are just some of the ways that students can just have a little bit of fun with their peers and get involved at the school in that really short afternoon we have. So, yeah, and that's it. So I'm open to questions or comments.
Trustee Marquez, please.
Thank you for that. That was wonderful. On slide 4, just a quick question. What does it mean missing? There's 40 students missing. I mean, are they missing, or is it?
We're not missing any students. No, those are students who didn't, when they fill out their paperwork, they chose not to state their ethnicity or their race. So, yeah, they declined to state. Yeah.
Okay.
So they're not missing. That's how it comes up in Aries. I kind of figured, I was like, how do I present that? And yeah, so they declined to state.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, not missing
The
children.
data's missing, not the
No.
student.
Yes, yeah.
Thank you. Others?
Wonderful job. Like when we were there recently, so maybe just the calligraphy. I gotta know. Are we gonna teach them how to sign a check? Or I mean, I know, or sign a document. Are they learning how to sign their name in cursive?
Well, since we're not since cursive, I know cursive's a thing. Yeah. Maybe, I could ask her about that. Right now, they're working through just basic letters and how to use the markers without squishing the tips and that type of a thing. Actually, one of our classified staff members runs this program, and she's really invested in it. And we got a really good mix of kids. I was thinking, we're going to have a bunch of 4th grade girls come out, and we have a huge mix of students who came out to try calligraphy, and it's really quiet and focused in there. Yeah, they really like it. Yeah.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll add my thanks for all of it. It was delightful visiting in person a while ago. So got to see a preview of some of this data. There's that old show, Are You Smarter Than a 5th Grader? I'm sure not, but I wouldn't mind being one. That looks kind of like a good day at school. And I just I want to thank you for mentioning the visit to Pirates Cove. That's very personal for me. I felt so Rich Ferrato, that was his grand project. He and I worked together intensely on a daily basis for a decade. And I really appreciate, that you and other students are engaging with his wacky creative genius, even when he's not here with us. So that's just one of the many elements that makes this community something, is people that step up and do something. And when we do it well, it continues even when we don't. So just, I had to mention that just because of a personal connection there. But is there anything else on this topic?
I just,
Please.
President Horner, I want to add, deeply appreciate your leadership, Gardner. You are the sole leader this year, but you have an amazing team, as you described, teachers and faculty and parents. And so I know it's a collective efficacy of sorts. And thank you for your alignment and your view on coherence and implementing that. So thank you so much for your leadership and excellent job.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And President Horner, President Horner, our grade levels are now fighting over who gets to go to Pirates Cove. So they came back, or Morgan's Cove, the pirate ship is what they're all calling it. But they were all they're all fighting over who gets to go next year. But I think fifth grade's going to win. So yeah, thank you.
Tell them it's attendance based.
Okay. Oh, that's a good one. Okay, whoever has the highest attendance.
The
gets to go.
gamification of attendance. Why not?
Yes.
All right, very good.
Thank
you
you
very
so
much.
much. Appreciate it.
So now we'll transition from two of the most fun things of the evening to probably the most hopefully dull, and that's the approval of the minutes from the board meeting of October 9th. Do we have a motion?
I motion that we approve the minutes.
Thank you, Vice President Andrade. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Trustee Marquez. Student Board Member Paredes Yasso? Thank you. Other board members? Aye, if you agree. Aye. Any opposed or abstaining? Hearing and seeing none, that passes unanimously. This is fun. Let's do it again. So second item, minutes from the special meeting, our themed study session of October 23rd. Do we have a motion to approve those minutes?
Yes, I move that we approve those minutes.
Thank you, Vice President Andrade. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Clerk Northrop Gaddis. Student Board Member Paredes Yasso, though you weren't there, but, you were, did you miss it?
Yes,
You was it? Okay, please. Aye. Other members? Aye, if you agree. Aye. Any opposed or abstaining? Seeing none, that passes unanimously. Okay, item H, public comment and communications. This is for members of the public to address the board on topics not listed on the agenda. The board may not discuss any issues raised not listed on the agenda. Topics not on the agenda brought to the board's attention may be investigated by the administration and reported to the board publicly or privately at future minutes, and comments shall not exceed 3 minutes per person. I believe we have two requests, is that correct? Are these both here with us or somebody on the? Okay, so I'll invite Greg Filios. Did I say that correct? Yeah. Thank you. A little timer going here somewhere? All right.
Anyway.
Yeah, sorry it's not.
That's okay.
We'll let you know when it's coming close.
Okay, yeah, let me know.
Yeah.
I'm Greg. I'm from Gilroy. At the last Morgan Hill Unified School District Board meeting, a resolution was passed to regarding Measure A, supporting Measure A. And that followed up from the Gilroy Unified School District similar resolution. So the South County had these two resolutions. And I believe that that was a factor in getting the measure passed. Having the school district, the people that look at the community looks up to these school districts as leading, as being leaders in providing this environment for their students. And I'm so proud of I'm proud of Gilroy, and I'm really proud of you too for putting your names out there to support this and showing the compassion and care for the students, the teachers, the staff, and the community. I was very proud. Now, now that we have this passed, fortunately, luckily we have people following me. It'll be Chris, and Chris will help keep us in line because we want to make sure that this money is used properly. So I don't know anything about that, but luckily we have people in the community that will help us keep this keep us in line. Hopefully so please be supportive of be supportive of everybody who even if it doesn't sound like they appreciate the measure, they just want to make sure it's utilized properly. Number two, last month the American Association of University Women, AAUW, here in Morgan Hill, held an evening of discussion from a presentation by Mr. Howard Barnes, who is a social studies teacher at Sobrato High School. And this was great because what it was an opportunity to refresh our memory of civics. What he did was he did a civics course, and what he was doing was explaining what he's teaching to the kids. I want to go back to high school and remind me of stuff. It was a great presentation, and if this is the kind of presentation that we're seeing in the high schools here in Morgan Hill, you should be very, very happy and very proud of this type of social studies and education. It was a matter of seeing civics, and it wasn't just the boring civics, it was how civics is being utilized here in the community today, in the current events. So that was good. Thank you so much.
Well timed. Thank you very much. Chris Roble?
Good evening, board
Let's
members.
get the timer reset here so we don't cheat you out of anything here.
Okay. Good evening, board members. Chris Robel. I wanted to speak regarding one of the items on the consent items, which is a contract with DWK, a legal firm. And I urge you to pull that from consent, discuss it, and hopefully not approve it for several reasons. This is clearly, I don't know if there was a meeting behind closed doors that should have been open or what, but this looks like you've already made the decision to walk down the bond, pursuing a tax, a new tax for a bond measure. And it seems to me it's cart before the horse. So there was a study session, but there was no decision to pursue a bond. So now you have a contract all of a sudden with with lawyers who are very costly, hundreds of dollars an hour, to advise on a bond measure. So it seems like some steps were skipped unless there was a meeting I missed, which I didn't. I think it's important that the school district look at a comprehensive view of prioritized projects, and if there is some need for funding, exactly what are you going to spend it on, and agree as a team that you're going to do it in public so that everybody has an opportunity to do that. The second reason, of course, is, I'm completely against bonds. They're a very inefficient use of capital. Much better to do a parcel tax than a bond for a lot of reasons. It makes Wall Street people rich, but not very costly to taxpayers. So, and I think it's very financially irresponsible for the board to pursue a bond at this point when you're on the brink of what I understand is almost financial insolvency in a few years, given the looming deficits. And you got a letter from the county to that effect, looking for how you're going to cut costs. So to spend money on lawyers, and there's no assurance this bond will pass, and seems a little bit unreasonable or inappropriate. I would urge belt tightening, so looking at anything you can, even though everything in isolation looks like a wonderful expense, what expenses can be cut that won't affect students in a material way? And I'm thinking about the 7th hour. Apparently, I learned that like 20 to 25% of costs have gone up in the last several years. So staffing cuts maybe for the 7th period, the wellness. I know these are painful, but those are the kind of things you have to do first before you ask taxpayers for more money. Lastly, I looked at this is really important. There's a website called schoolslegalservice.org. It's a legal services consortium serving school districts. I'm going to read. The California Attorney General, this involves one of the members of the board, the vice president, whose husband works as a bond program director. So a conflict of interest. This is what it says. The California Attorney, basically, I have 30 seconds. So it's opinion 02-206 that says that the long pending question concerning employment of a board member's spouse. School governing board members are considered to have a financial interest in the employment contracts of their spouses. Government Code 1090 prohibits the entire board from approving a contract when one board member is prohibited from a financial agreement. Abstention from voting and participation does not cure the problem. Violation of this rule is grounds for any interested person to demand the contract be voided and can result in criminal penalties for all board members. So I think she has to either leave the board or he has to leave his employment. Otherwise,
She has a name.
yes, okay. So it's totally, it's a check.
Yeah.
I'm not an attorney, but you can check with one. And I think
Thank you for your feedback. Okay. Now we move in communications to I1, our student board member report.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. This is the report for the Morgan Hill Unified School District school site. My name is Ronnie Paredes Hassel. I'm the student board member, and today is the 11th, 13th, 2025. So Live Oak will have its freshman fall fest on the 13th, so today from 5 to 7 p.m. Pretty sure that's over.
A few more minutes.
A few more minutes. They will have their fall play rehearsal on the 15th from 9 to 1 a.m. in the theater, as well as their athletic booster meeting on the 17th from 7 to 8 p.m. in the library. They will have their Thanksgiving event, which they do every year on the 21st on the 21st from 12:25 to 12:55. And Thanksgiving break starts on the 22nd. Anson Bartle High School will have coffee chat with the principal on the 14th from 8:45 to 9:45 a.m. in the admin conference room. They'll have their senior grad night meeting on the 18th from 7 till 6 p.m. in the library. They'll also have their Cash for College on the 19th from 6 to 8 p.m. in the library. Central High School will have their fall festival, which they do every year, on the 14th from 9:45 to 10:45. They're going to have carnival games and lots of fun, but if it keeps raining, it's going to be moved indoors. Britain Middle School is going to have their principal chat in person on the 18th from 9:15 to 10:45 a.m., as well as their school council site meeting from the 20th, ranging from 8 to 9 a.m. Martin Murphy Middle School is going to have their coffee chat on the 14th from 9:15 to 10:30 a.m., and they're going to have their ELAG from 18 to 3:30, going through 4:30 p.m., as well as their school site council meeting on the 20th from 9:15 to 10:15 a.m. So PA Wash is doing a donation drive from now until December 11th. So we're requesting for people to bring new or, clothing, toys for students that are in need, some little trinkets. These will be used for fundraisers, and if you could, please drop it off in the front of the office during school hours. Now, Bear is going to have their ELAC meeting on the 10th. Ooh, seems like a pass already. Also that, and also that. Okay, we'll skip this. Nordstrom Elementary School is going to have their winter food drive, so we're going to be collecting donations from the 17th till December 9th. And they're also going to have their Dad's Night Out sponsored by Home and School Club running at Shops and Hops. They're going to have their early release day on the 14th from 12:35 and ranges all day. They're also going to have their Lions Den on the 19th from 7:40 and goes all day. Los Paseos Nights are going to have their bingo night on the 14th from 4:30 to 8:30 p.m. And they're also going to have their coffee with the principal from the 21st to 8 to 8:30 a.m. San Martin Gwin is going to have their home and school club meeting on the 14th from 8:15 to 9:15 p.m. Movie night Friday will be on the 14th from 6 p.m. They're going to play Into Your Dreams, which isn't a movie. It just came out. And so also put in your calendar Santa's Breakfast in December from the 13th to 8 to 11 a.m. Paradise Valley is going to have their yearbook contest, which is held every year. Entries are due on December 3rd. They're going to have their HAS meeting on the 18th from 8 to 9 a.m. in the library. The ELAC on the 19th, they're going to have it from 8 to 9 p.m. They're going to have the SSC from the 19th. They're going to have it at 1:45 going through 2:45. Jackson Academy of Music is going to have their HNSC meeting on the 13th from 7 to 8 p.m. They're going to have their teacher-parent conference on the 14th. It's going to be all day. Jam Spirit Day, so it's on the 21st. It's going to be all day. And theme is wear gear or color or logos from the college the students would eventually want to attend when they graduate high school. They're also going to have their Scholastic Bear Fair. That's going to go from the 13th till the 6th on December. And Otoro Health Science Academy is going to have their parent-teacher conference happening this week. They're going to have their picture retakes on the 14th, site school council meeting on the 18th from 2:45 to 3:45 p.m. and their SEAC meeting from the 20th to the 24th. No, on the 20th, they're going to have it from 2:45 to 3:45. That's all.
Thank you. And will you be attending all those events? No, that was a very comprehensive report. Thank you. There's a lot going on here. Okay, appreciate it very much. Great job. Now we'll move to I2, our superintendent and staff report.
Student board member Ronnie Paredes Hasos being do you want to tell the board and the community what you're doing with the soccer team?
I recently got upgraded to be that, what is it called? I know the word, I just can't think right now. I got upgraded from being not only a student player for the Live Oak soccer team, I also got upgraded to being the coaching manager. So now I'm able to not only play on the team, I'm able to also coach the team. So that's really exciting.
Good job.
So that's one of the many reasons why he won't be attending all of those events, President Horner.
I shouldn't have said that. Just my version of trying to enjoy you.
Delighted to present just a snapshot of what we have been up to, what I've been up to since our last board meeting in late October. This is, I believe, our third annual participation in the Fall African American College Readiness Summit. So these are our high school students who attended the African American Summit at San Jose State University. Delighted to partner with this amazing organization. You never know who you're gonna find at an airport on your way back from a conference, but we have our Morgan Hill Community Adult School team who were participating at an adult school conference, and they ran into State Superintendent Tony Thurmond. And so it was lovely to receive the picture from both the principal / director, Karina, and also the state superintendent who sent me the pictures. Anyway, so congratulations and kudos to our team. Last superintendent update, I talked about the marching band, and alternate student board member Rebecca Latin is part of the Sobrato Marching Band, quite fantastic, who, by the way, is ranked #1 in their division in the entire state. They have a competition, their last competition of the season this Saturday, James Logan High School, although with the rain, we don't know. If you have not been to one of their competitions, I kid you not, I almost want to cry during one of the it's just phenomenal to see our students. Likewise, at Live Oak High School, Emerald Regime has been kicking some major butt as well. And it's a rebuilding year for them, and kudos to them and for their successful marching band competition. We also celebrated our County Teacher of the Year, Raven Jackson. Yes, woohoo is right, yes. Phenomenal post-secondary teacher at Central High School. President Horner and I had an opportunity to meet her parents, meet her grandmother, meet her sister. My God, it was a family affair. So kudos to Raven Jackson for being just a phenomenal teacher.
A very proud family.
Very, very, very.
Justifiably, yeah.
Very, very proud family. Been engaging in many school visits. I want you to pay attention to the top picture. I kind of wanted Principal Green to talk about her Nordstrom rack. That's the top picture. That's where they have all the lost and found. So it's the Nordstrom rack. I love it. Yes, super, super cute. Engaging lessons. Absolutely, instruction is alive and well in our schools. Additional school visits. And so I just love to capture moments of our students in action. You see the bottom left, the students are they're doing a lesson on energy and velocity, and so it was just phenomenal to see our students in action, and really our faculty, our teachers who empower our students and release the responsibility of their learning onto them. Additional school visits, additional students in action. This is Los Paseos. Just lovely to see the Kellett partners and the P3 math work that we've talked to the board a lot about, in particular at Los Paseos and El Toro, that is now branching off to additional schools in the school district. So those are some samples of our phenomenal teachers, phenomenal staff, and wonderful students. Also participated in the AP conference. The College Board puts on a superintendent convening once a year. This one was at Oakland, so not fun to be stuck in traffic, but the day was phenomenal to look at what the College Board is doing, additional ways that they are partnering with universities and in turn partnering with us. So just a few snapshots of those slides. We just finished Halloween, and Halloween was alive and well in every single one of our schools. I just happened to be at San Martin Gwen and captured these lovely, gorgeous, beautiful pictures of our TK students. And this particular day was spooky hair. And I think that they accomplished it for sure. We also celebrated Halloween here in the district office. Every department selects a theme. My my department, the superintendent's office, is the top left. We have to up our game. We were candy bars, and the rest of the teams were just super creative and just kicked our butt. And we also had a pumpkin, decorating contest. So Halloween was alive and well at the district office. So is Day of the Dead. And I know many schools held Day of the Dead celebrations. This is a cherished celebration in the Latino community, and in particular, Latino Catholic community, where November 2nd, Day of the Dead. Day of the Dead, we honor those loved ones who have departed. And so at Sobrato, I'm highlighting Sobrato for a reason. The library, these pictures don't do it justice. They had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of altars, very creative altars. You see some pumpkins that are decorated. Those too served as altars. There were altars on athletes and artists, but the majority of them were on their own family members. And in addition to that, there was student performances. So the choir sang music in Spanish. So it was very culturally appropriate. The band also played music, culturally appropriate music. But this was driven initially by parents who worked very closely with ELAC, our English Learner Advisory Council, who in turn worked with the larger parent population and site administrators and the faculty. It was just a beautiful event, and I'm going to encourage all of us. I know that this will be an annual event. I will encourage all of us to attend future events as well. I continue to engage with my chats with Carmen. We have some community. I open my chats to everybody, not just parents or staff. It's anybody in the community, because it takes a village, as the Kiwanis of Morgan Hill demonstrated earlier. So I had some community members that left that don't want to be part of my pictures. But these are once a month. We bounce around Morgan Hill Unified, South San Jose, San Martin, the district here in Morgan Hill specifically. I'm going to go back to apartment buildings again. If parents can't come to me, I will go to them. Zero agenda other than how can we work together to ensure all of our students are successful. So Kellett Partners, they too have a superintendent convening twice a year. So this was on the P3 math work that I described earlier, the intentional math work that is happening at our TK through third grade. But it's now expanding to other grade levels and other schools. So I had an opportunity to meet with other superintendents who are participating in the P3 work with Kellett Partners. Holiday Lights Parade, I know that Jane mentioned this earlier, the president of Kiwanis. I know that we have some schools. Walsh will be participating in the parade. You just heard from Principal Green, who will be participating in the parade. So I encourage all of us to attend and to support, because all the money fundraised, as you know, will come back to us in terms of turnaround scholarships and such. This is late breaking. The California Department of Ed released the California Dashboard, and the dashboard was meant to display how a school district, and in turn, how schools are doing based on several metrics. Chronic absenteeism, suspension rate, graduation rate, college and career readiness, performance on ELA and math assessments, and English learner progress. And so what I have juxtaposed for all of us is a 2-year comparison. 2019, right before the pandemic, there were a couple of years where the dashboard went dark because we didn't issue the state assessment based on the pandemic, et cetera. So this is how we are doing now. The goal is, and you see the key at the bottom, red, orange, yellow, green, and blue. Green and blue is the target. Green is great, blue is ideal. And this is how we are doing. We had a couple of schools who regressed during the last state assessment. Had that not happened, we would be green in ELA and math. This explains and displays the hard work that Principal Gardner was describing earlier on empowering our teachers to engage in grade level conversations with professional learning teams, looking at data, responding to the data, creating assessments, collective efficacy of sorts. And so we are well on our way to turning those yellows into greens and ultimately into blues. And so this was a system-wide 800+ strong effort to accomplish this. And I want to, so this is just a little bit of a snippet. In December, we will be providing, Assistant Superintendent Jimenez will be providing the board a more robust description of the work and the performance on the dashboard. So this is a little bit of a preview, but I want to take some time to share what's happening at our high schools. This is as of now, and this is intentional work. Yes, intentional hard work. This is not easy. This transformation did not happen overnight. I completely thank the faculty, the teachers, the counselors, the students, the parents, and the entire community who, has collectively wrapped around our students. And so kudos to our students. Board member Paredes Jasso, you are a senior now. And so, this is last year's data. So this is, so the students in the room as well, thank you all so much. I know you were all seniors. And so you had a lot to do with that transformation. So thank you to our high schools. Thank you to our students. Thank you to our teachers. Thank you to our parents. Seventh period and yeah. So there are a lot of reasons why this is working. We are so over the top with respect to data. We collect so much data that the dashboard has basically confirmed what we have been seeing and following on our internal metrics. And so in December, Assistant Superintendent Jimenez can describe a little bit more about what does it mean by a graduation rate? What do we mean by college and career readiness? But in terms of, for example, at the high schools, the career and technical ed, the fact that our students are now able to complete the pathway, our dual enrollment courses with our community college and now San Jose State, among others. It's our AP. I know both high schools have added additional AP courses. And so I want to leave us with an example of this is Live Oak High School. This is the Incredibles administrative team. So the administrators last year, just so that you know, the statewide assessment is for 3rd through 8th grade, and then high school students don't take it again until junior year. So then the administrative team at Live Oak told the juniors, you guys, give it your best on this test. If we meet our goals, we'll dress up as the Incredibles. And so there you go. So this was a nice closing. It's some fun. And I know that, anyway, so thank you. That's my report. So very proud of our team, very proud of our district, very proud of our students.
That's excellent. Thank you, Dr. Garcia. Okay, we'll move on to employee group reports. I believe we only have our Morgan Hill Federation of Teachers, represented by President Yen. I think the other two groups are taking the night off.
Okay, so before anything, it was supposed to be a running joke that Fernando Camargo was going to dress up as Elastigirl if we improved our English report, but then I actually spoiled it and announced it to the entire junior class last year, and that's why he was forced to do it. I'm just saying, I think that's and also Carmen Solar Thunder, because in June, I was going to disaggregate the data for you, because I'm the data guy at Live Oak, to tell you all the good news that was happening at Live Oak. So I put on a different hat then, but that's another story. You'll hear me in June when we disaggregate the Live Oak data, which I'm very excited to talk to you about. So
we'll be waiting with bated breath.
Yes. Good evening, board trustees, executive cabinet, and community members. My name is QA Nguyen, and I'm honored to be the elected president of the Morgan Hill Federation of Teachers. Last week, you heard from 4 of our site representatives about Article 9, health and welfare benefits. This week, you will hear from the MHFT leadership at Barrett Elementary School. So you'll have Vice President at Large, Jen Clem Myers, Elementary Vice President, Teresa Colbert, and Site Representative Deborah Chappelle. You will also hear from Britton Middle School site representatives Jim Levis and Melissa Morales on Article 6, retirement options. So first, we'll have Jen, Teresa, and Deborah. You have the floor.
Thank you so much, QA. I am a shorty. Whoa. Okay. Good evening, everyone. Tonight, we're here to talk about Article 6, retirement. In the Morgan Hill Unified School District, it takes a teacher 30 years to reach the top of the salary schedule. For those with 60 or more units and 30 years of experience, that final salary is $137,009. And that's it. There's no higher step to move up to. That number remains your salary until retirement. Unfortunately, many of our most experienced teachers are leaving Morgan Hill to finish their careers elsewhere, and it's easy to see why. Other districts pay more. And that difference doesn't just affect paychecks today, it affects retirement income for life.
And here's why that matters. The CalSTARS retirement formula bases your benefit on your highest 3 consecutive years of salary, unless you've worked for 25 years or more. Once you reach that 25-year mark or buy up to it, your retirement is based on your final salary. So if your final salary is lower than what it could be at a neighboring district, that's money lost forever in retirement. San Jose Unified is a similar district to Morgan Hill. Their highest step is $138,338, but they receive double the amount of supplemental stipends for BCLAD, special ed, master's, and doctorate degrees. Let's look at these basic and districts. Let's look at basic aid districts for comparisons. In Los Gatos Union, the top salary cell is $171,403. In Palo Alto, it's $168,598, and teachers reach that level in just 27 years. Yes, Los Gatos and Palo Alto are funded differently than us, but no wonder teachers are willing to drive a little farther for over $30,000 more per year. That difference doesn't just improve their daily lives, it builds into a much stronger retirement benefit.
I've been teaching for 31 years and I'm already in the top cell on our pay scale. Yet this year I'm actually taking home less income because my benefits are going to cost more. We need to find a way to raise that final salary cell to recognize and retain our most experienced educators whose dedication and wisdom are invaluable to this district. Many teachers are working longer than they should have to simply because they can't afford to retire. The $9,000 per year meant to bridge the gap. The $9,000 per year meant to bridge the gap until Medicare starts at 65 just isn't enough. For those who are retiring before 65, this $9,000 would equate to $750 a month for a single individual, which would only cover a Kaiser plan in 2026. That's not sustainable. And to make matters worse, it seems that the $9,000 bridge payment has deductions before retirees even receive it.
So for those who entered the system before January 1st, 2013, that bridge payment was meant to help cover health costs between the ages of 55 and 65. But even then, it barely helps offset the real cost of health care.
Our veteran teachers have given decades of their lives to this district, mentoring students, supporting families, and strengthening our community. They shouldn't have to leave Morgan Hill to earn a fair retirement or work extra years just to afford health care.
We urge the district to revisit the top of the salary schedule and reassess our retirement and benefit structure so we can retain the teachers who built this district, not lose them just as they reach the finish line. Thank you.
So thank you to Jen, Teresa, and Deborah, and now we have Jim and Melissa.
Good evening, trustees, Superintendent Garcia. I'm Jim Levis, and I'm here with Melissa Morales. We are the MHFT site reps at Britain to talk about Article 6 retirement. As was mentioned, the state of California allows certain qualifying employees who retire between 55 and 65 years of age to receive compensation to help offset the cost of medical insurance until they reach the Medicare age of 65. In MHUSD, the amount that those certificated members receive is $9,000 a year. In talking with members at our site, they have two major concerns. The first is that the $9,000 has deductions from the third-party administrator, so their take-home is not nearly $9,000. The reduced benefit check makes it impossible to cover the entire monthly cost of district-sponsored health insurance premiums during those pre-Medicare time period. We would ask that the district find a way to ensure this benefit keeps up with the rising cost of health care in the Bay Area.
The second concern is that this benefit is frozen at $9,000 and does not take into consideration the rising cost of premiums by increasing at the same or similar rates. We ask that the district look at options that might allow for future increases to help address the increasing cost of medical insurance premiums. Thank you.
Thank you all. Okay, let me just, okay. Additionally, the members, don't leave me yet. Additionally, the members at the sites other than the two which just presented were also invited to submit their feedback regarding Article 6 retirement options. There was some interest in the negotiations of a contractually agreed upon early retirement incentive, but most of the feedback focused on the $9,000 retirement benefit, which some members are eligible to receive. As both presentations referenced, members note its importance in helping to contribute to the health benefits for retirees bridging the gap to 65 years of age, while at the same time its insufficiency in getting close to covering the current cost of those benefits. This cost is compounded by the district deducting administrative costs or deductions from the $9,000. It is important to note the importance of maintaining the contribution for those who are eligible for it, while also acknowledging the inequity in issuance of it amongst our own bargaining unit. To echo our site representative sentiments, I know that much of Article 6 retirement options is determined through the retirement systems, but as you heard last time as well, the rising cost of health benefits and cost of living in the Bay Area continues to be problematic for our certificated members. This is what we know for certain. 1, healthcare continues to increase nationally. 2, the uncertainty of the Affordable Care Act looms over all of us. 3, the cost of living continues to rise not only in America, but especially in the Bay Area. And these three factors have our certificate employees, as well as the rest of our community, worried about their retirement options. Our members, as well as our negotiations teams, hope to have compassionate conversations around this topic, as we have phenomenal educators who deserve to retire and retire with dignity. On another note, at this board meeting under K2, you will see that the MHUSD leadership and the MHFT leadership are jointly sunshining Article 15 class size early before our regular openers in second semester. This opener remains separate and in addition to the articles specified in Article 24.7 that will open at a later date. And this early sunshining is due to the secondary staffing ratio settlement agreement, which was signed last month. We appreciate the board's support on the matter and look forward to working collaboratively with MHUSD's HR department regarding it. Finally, last week in the theme study session, the topics of workforce housing and parcel taxes / bond measures were presented. Regarding workforce housing, it is important to know that there is a history that has left a bad taste in the mouths of many educators. Here, the last time this idea was discussed was by our board and district. The former superintendent called it the Tiny Homes Project. Obviously, contributing to it also being unfortunately called the Teachers Projects. One of the ideas openly discussed by the district was to build the apartments on top of Britton Middle School, even going so far as to state that this would allow for the educators there to help keep the campus safe as security guards after hours, as well as allow students to find their teachers when needing help with homework. One of my first memories of my union and its activism in districts was educators organizing at a board meeting in order to vehemently reject the idea and urge the then board members to listen to us, hear us, and treat us with respect. Regarding parcel taxes and bond measures, it is clear that there is also a history there that, as one of you articulated at the last meeting, has left a lasting impression on all those involved. The district and board proceeded with their last bond measure, Measure I, without any consultation or collaboration with the educators, leading to a lack of assistance and support from the Federation. It was not until the measure had already been finalized that our executive council was approached, and it was only to provide us information and ask for our endorsement. This was, as JoJo likes to say, too little too late. I know it feels like I'm coming up here repeating the same thing over and over, but I just want to reiterate that we want to be your collaborative partners when it comes to these types of monumental changes that affect our jobs, our members, and our community. It should not be a vote from board trustees to create a bond measure or workforce housing and then getting our members' input as an afterthought, or even worse, only through their attendance at a community forum. It should be us working in tandem with you through the planning process, having a seat at that same table, being able to ask questions, make suggestions, have a voice. Then together we can proceed forward. The path of least resistance is a path shared by all, transparent amongst all, and including input from all. So I hope that sometime in the near future, the district office and the board trustees will reach out to the MHFT office staff and its leadership team to invite us to that metaphorical table so that we can work collaboratively with you. We don't have to agree on everything, but I want us to have an open dialogue to share our questions and concerns, not only relating to workforce housing, parcel taxes and bond measures, but also on any other item that is currently being discussed or is to come in the future. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Well, I can say unequivocally, because it's not on the agenda and won't be, there's no discussion of tiny home or security guards. The union leadership shared that story with me in a private meeting last week, and I was pretty shocked. That was news to me, and I can say literally nobody sitting around here was part of that, and I don't think we have any interest in that conversation. So board members, other reports? Anyone? Any? Vice President Andrade?
Yes, so given the government shutdown and that profound effect that it had on our families, I participated in food grocery distribution this past Saturday. We had a lot of families show up. I believe it was over 230 bags packed of groceries. And, you know, a lot of it is because people are starving. There's hunger. And so, you know, in education, MHFT President Nguyen will agree with me when I say it's the saying is Maslow's before Bloom's, right? You cannot teach a hungry child. And so there's a great need in the community. It was, you know, there's a lot of need. And so we were able to distribute bags to the farm worker housing development off of Monterey and Watsonville, senior center at the CRC, and another, I believe it was Royal Oaks or another apartment complex. But it was just, there's a profound need. And I think that that's going to continue even though the government is reopening because things are just very expensive. Groceries are expensive. And so I'm very concerned about our students. And so I just wanted to share that was one of the things I participated in.
Very good. Thank you. Were you nodding at me, Trustee Marquez? Please, go ahead.
Yes, I attended the SCCSBA Fall Dinner at Maggiano's on the 29th of October. Met Bonnie Mace in person. She's a really nice person. I enjoyed my conversation with her. It was very enlightening because there was 3 high school students that were speaking and doing a Q&A, and they were talking about being bilingual and trilingual. It was pretty impressive. You know, one of them was trilingual. That's great. But one of the things that kind of stuck with me is that some of them are starting to lose the language of their homeland, and some of them feel embarrassed to speak it in front of the other students, and they really shouldn't. You know, my dad was bilingual, didn't teach us the language, And I wish he did, because I would have been proud to be able to speak fluent Spanish like some of these students. So I'm hoping that, they get back and they can, help. There's one student that helps other students that don't understand, so they speak to them, kind of broken a little bit Spanish, but they help. And I was very impressed with these 3 students. So it was a good dinner, it was a good speaking, and I really enjoyed it. And John attended, so we had a good time.
Very good time. Thank you. Any others before I mic mine? Okay. I have a few things to report on of other activities. Give an update on the Morgan Hill Unified Education Foundation. Haven't spoken about that in a little bit. We've continued meeting and working. The second annual, I think they've renamed it. Last year was Grilling for Growth, but Leal Hospitality is doing an annual celebrity chef-based event downtown, and the net proceeds are directed through the foundation to support our culinary and hospitality programs in Morgan Hill Unified. So last year it raised a little over $31,000. We don't know the number for this year yet, but really appreciate that as an example of, an industry sector saying, we're going to do our thing, but we need to also do our part in helping develop students. So that's just been wonderful. And tomorrow night at the Morgan Hill Community Foundation annual event, our Education Foundation will be recognizing Leal Hospitality for that support. And just both to say thank you there and to encourage other industries, like, come on, get in the game. There's work you can be part of. The foundation also in January will be starting the grant cycle for its undesignated funds. So we have some contributions that can be used broadly. So there'll be an application going out in January. And then on the designated side, in addition to the hospitality piece, which is up and running, we've had groups approach us interested in providing some additional support for science education in our schools. What might that look like? And again, they're volunteering to do the fundraising and the work around it, but they need kind of an administrative home. So that as this foundation evolves, one of the roles we can play is as an administrative home for people that have a passion and some resources to contribute in a certain area, so that we have a good mechanism for doing that. So, more to come on that. And then there's another group that wants to do a named scholarship for a young person we lost in our community, and they really want to do that. In both cases, they talked to some other groups in town, and no one really had a administrative, banking, organizational structure in place that could support that. So as this effort continues to evolve, we've said since we started talking about this 6 years ago, and we wanted to do something additive and supportive and in no way competitive with other groups. So that continues to evolve, and I just wanted to give everybody a little update on that. Then moving on, just this morning, I participated again in the Chamber of Commerce's monthly Economic Development Committee meeting. The primary focus there doesn't have a huge intersection with us, but the county as staff has proposed pretty restrictive zoning and use changes that would have quite a lot of effect on our agricultural community and related communities. Morgan Hill's mayor has leaned hard into that, even though it's not in the city's jurisdiction. It's very, alongside of what our city is doing. And also for our schools, that many people don't realize that in our county, we have 2 vibrant ag programs, FFA programs at Sobrato and Live Oak. And in the whole county, there's those 2, there's Gilroy, there's the next county over, Hollister, and 1 in Campbell. And that's it for active ag programs in our county, for what was once the Valley of Heart's Delight, once a very ag-centric community. But so it's important that our local ag community be here to continue supporting our students in that. And also, actually, the city recognized us for our leadership in student nutrition and the farming being built out at Sobrato and working with these local farmers to be one of their customers. So it's just another example of cooperation and collaboration, in this case, between the city, our county supervisors have gotten involved, and other groups, all like what's good for our community. And one of the things now about to retire Representative Nancy Pelosi is famous for is whatever the topic is, she said it's for the children, and really this is one where ag connects back to the children. And also there, Joe Mueller, who's a longtime planning commissioner, he brought up just how exciting it was to work with our Climate Action Pathways students. They've been doing some internships with the city and around city planning, and so that's a program in its 2nd year for us. Is that right? I lose track of time. I'm just really, really glad again to have that example of collaboration, because that's what it takes. And finally, I'll report on the County School Board Association, where I am our named rep there. Thank you, Trustee Marquez, for coming to that dinner. Those kids were amazing. That annual fall dinner, there's always a student speaker panel that's really the center point, and that they talked about dual immersion and bilingual education. It was amazing. I'll also say the Legislative Action Committee there, of which I'm now the secretary, continues its efforts around resources for schools. And again, it comes back to the issue our Federation of Teachers raised this morning, the disparity that a Los Gatos or Palo Alto has 1.5 to 2x the funding per student that we have, and then puts us in this ridiculous box of not being able to give people what they need and deserve. That's not an excuse, that's a reality, but that's something we all need to work on, continuing to change the rules of the game that happen beyond our scale and scope to address. So that group, our meetings with county and state representatives are very much underway for the year. Then also a different committee of that group is this Saturday having its first ever convening around our homeless students, our McKinney-Vento students. And again, thematically, how do we collaborate with the other entities that we have a shared responsibility for meeting the needs of these students and communicating? I mean, all kinds of things that are reasonable in each silo but unreasonable in the whole happen. So we have, there's over 50 participants registered to be in the audience, which for a Saturday in November, a bunch of school board members that don't get paid to do this, to show up and talk about an issue that many are not familiar with is something I hope there'll be more. And we have a panel from our school district. We were invited to come speak. Ms. Swift here will be, kind of leading that effort, talking about what we're doing with the care team, where we're at. And I say, we'll have some brags and we'll have some asks. This is what's going well. This is what we need help with. But there's a lot of interest from our colleagues in other parts of the county of saying, what have you done that we can learn from? And maybe what do they know that we can enjoy? And then finally, I'll mention on January 24th, our association also will be putting on the intention is to be kind of a next level school board governance team training. We'll have a panel of 4 experienced retired superintendents. They're specifically they'll speak for about an hour from their point of view on some questions around leading in politically and financially challenging times, which I think we can all agree we're in. They've all been around the block enough to have been through things like that on their own. We specifically asked retired superintendents so they could speak as freely as possible. And also that this will not be simulcast on video, it will not be recorded. For access, we would love to do that, but also we want everyone in the room to, be able to speak as freely as possible and not wonder if a 12-second snippet's going to show up online of something they said and taken out of context. So that will be on January 24th at SCOE. It'll either be no charge or $10 or $20, nominal charge. And they asked me to moderate it, so I'm going to do that. That will be an interesting task, and I'll try really hard to add as little content as possible and just keep it moving. So with that said, I better stop talking. But there's been a lot going on that I wanted to share with you. Any other board member reports before we move on? Okay, thank you all very much. I believe we're on I-5, the calendar of upcoming events. Really, we should all get a copy of our student board members' calendar because that was quite comprehensive, but there are also items specific to the board that are published for your review and information. Okay, item J, consent items. Do we have any requests to remove any items from the consent calendar? Trustee Munson?
Yes. I'd like to pull 3 items for discussion. The first one is J1A. The second is J1D. And then the third is J3A. So it's the...
Okay, do we have any other requests? Hearing none, do we have a motion to approve the remaining items? Yes, so. I'm sorry, I can't, maybe your microphone, I can't hear you. My ears aren't so good.
No problem. I was going to see if we could maybe take a bio break before we jump into discussions.
Okay,
And
that's fine. Yeah, let's complete this vote and then we'll take a short break.
And then I'm happy to make the motion.
It's okay, a motion to approve everything except 1A and B, and make sure I have my notes correct. B like boy or D like dog? D like dog, my mistake. Thank you. 1A and D like dog, and then 3A. Okay, so that's the motion to approve everything except those. We have a second? Second from trustee Munson. Yes, student board member. Thank you. Others, please say aye if you agree. Aye. Any opposed or abstaining? Okay. So we will come back to the remaining consent items after we take a 5 to 10 minute break. Back to order. Just at 10 minutes. So I will start with item 1A under consent. Trustee Munson, you have a question or comment on that?
Yeah, like a comment, and hopefully a discussion. I know we were presented with the slideshow, or not slideshow, but the presentation of the bond and the things that go with it and the upgrades and everything. But we haven't had a chance to have that discussion. If we want to do that, if we don't want to do that as a district or a board, give direction in that manner. Given the new information that we were presented with, I know I think you mentioned a bond, and so that was great. We went for it, and we were like, okay, this is the information now, right? But what do we do with that information? Do we have a discussion about it? Do we talk about it? So the contract, and I think somebody said it, putting the cart before the horse. We haven't had that discussion, so I'm not sure we should be approving a contract.
I appreciate that. Was that the whole question or comment or?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Still going.
My
I'm not sure we
mistake.
should be
My
approving
mistake.
that contract before we have a discussion, collaboration, and maybe there's some steps that we should do before that. Just polling our community, how well we'll do as a passing, those kind of things. So yes, then now I'm done.
Okay, my apologies. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Yes, maybe staff would like to respond first on that.
I can start, and then I can hand it over to Assistant Superintendent Chang, who can add anything that I may have left off. So to clarify the record that was stated during public comment and which you have repeated, this is not usurping the board's role in placing a bond measure on the ballot. This is the pre-work. And the pre-work is already taking place. You heard from Dale Scott. He is in the process of developing the survey instrument, who will be sent out, and this will be an incredibly collaborative effort. To echo what our president of MHFT has said, we will be bringing our 3 bargaining groups together at the onset to be able to work together. So the board has not given us direction to place the measure on the ballot. What this contract does is allows us to work with a counsel, a lawyer who specifies in bond, who can guide us to do all of our prep work, all of our pre-work, to make sure that we're in alignment with the law, that will ultimately lead to us coming to you all with all of the facts, all of the research, all of the work that I described earlier, and the board will ultimately tell us, yes, go for it, no, go for it. So what this contract does, it allows us to work with this attorney on the pre-work.
Assistant Superintendent Chang, do you have anything to add on that regard?
Yeah, just to piggyback on that, as we're in our planning process, it is very essential for us to have legal guidance throughout this process. I know, the election's coming up in about a year, but that runway is really short for us to get everything prepped for us to be ready. And again, When the time comes, we'll bring that to the board, and the board will make the last decision whether to place those measures on the ballot or not. But essentially, we're in the planning process, and to help us to be able to bring a recommendation to the board, we'll need both financial advisors' guidance and also legal guidance to, navigate all those pitfalls. And so we're bringing information for the board to make the best sound decision as possible when the time comes.
And can you, under this particular agreement, what kind of payments come from us, upfront, and are there other payments that are contingent upon actually there being a bond? Or maybe you can help us understand, how much is we pay no matter what for preliminary work, and how much is based on complete submission or successful or not? So can you help break that down?
Sure, two components. So I'll start with the parcel tax one. Those are essentially billed to us on an hourly basis from now until we bring the recommendation to the board. But that component of the agreement is capped at $10,000, and so we need more legal guidance than it's needed. That amount is capped related to parcel tax. For the bond and legal services, those are contingent on the bonds, first of all, being passed by the voters, either in June or November. And then on top of that, it's contingent on the districts moving forward on issuing those bonds. So legal counsel doesn't get paid until, first of all, the bonds is passed by voters and then issued by the district.
So if I'm understanding you correctly, there's up to $10,000 we're committing to for kind of preliminary or planning work, and anything beyond that would be contingent on a bond measure passing and then being funded.
That's correct.
Is that what you said?
That's
Okay.
correct.
And this particular attorney will be paid, assuming that the bond passes, the parcel tax passes, they will be paid for out of those proceeds, not the general. The pre-work is why we're bringing this contract to you, because that work needs to begin, and we absolutely need legal guidance along the way.
Trustee Gardner, you had your hand up?
So, yes, thank you. I agree with Trustee Munson that I feel this is premature, me personally, with all due respect. And then I do have a question here on the contract. Actually, it says bond counsel and disclosure counsel services, item B in 11, or II fees. And it says, the bond counsel services shall be compensated a set fee of $37,500 per transaction, plus reimbursement of actual expenses of not to exceed $2,000, blah, blah, blah. And then the next paragraph says, for each separate series of bonds issued during the term of this agreement, disclosure shall be compensated a set fee of $17,000 per transaction. So it sounds like this is going to get, what does it cost just to do a survey? That's what, I think that's where we start to find out if the community wants to engage in this before we start extending ourselves and committing to legal fees that could add up very, very quickly.
With all due respect, Trustee Gardner, you're conflating a couple of topics, so I want to be able to uncouple the two. The survey is separate and apart from this contract. That's the work that Dale Scott, and you heard from him last time, he's leading that work. The $37,500 that you're talking about, that's when we issue the bond, assuming that the bond passed, we issue the bond, and that's when the attorney gets paid. The bulk of the money of this particular attorney will be paid for through bond funds. The separate item is the pre-work that Assistant Superintendent Chang and I talked about, and that's up to $10,000 for the pre-work while we're doing research, while we confer with an attorney to provide a comprehensive plan for us to bring to you, whether in early March or early spring, whether you tell us yes or no, proceed with placing the bond on the ballot. So the bulk of the money will be paid for by the bond, not general fund. The pre-work will be paid for through unrestricted funds, but it's up to $10,000.
Okay, thank you. But with all due respect, my question still isn't answered. So it sounds like Dale Scott is doing the survey. How much is the survey costing us? And why aren't we waiting until we get the results back from the survey before we engage in legal services to do this work?
I'm sorry that I'm gonna have to repeat my answer. The work of this law firm is for the pre-work.
So is that the
survey
survey?
is separate and apart. The law firm
that's-
is not developing the survey.
I understand that. So you just said that. What is it costing us for Dale Scott to do the survey? And why are we not waiting for the survey to come back before we engage these people?
Because we need to work, I don't have the exact amount for the survey. Dale Scott is currently in the process of developing that survey and working with psychometricians there's a science behind writing surveys. And so Dale Scott is engaging in that work. And why should we wait before we hire a law firm? Because there is pre-work that we need to do. And Assistant Superintendent Cheng and I are not attorneys. And we need to confer with attorneys to make sure that we are in line with all of the rules and regulations.
Okay, so what about the last survey? I mean, let's get back to the survey. I think this is at the heart of the matter for the community, the sake of the community.
Yeah.
Why are we not doing the survey? What was the results of the last survey? And what is it, you said you don't know how much it's costing us. There should be some sort of ballpark. I mean, we went ahead with him doing a survey without knowing even a ballpark of what it's costing us?
We have a ballpark, but we are also going to be conducting 2 surveys to inquire with the community the likelihood of a bond and a parcel. There are some mixed status approaches with the survey, and those can be more costly if we do focus groups, so on and so forth. But a simple survey is between $5,000 and $10,000.
So that's what we're committed to right now, the double of that.
This item is not related to the survey. I mean, your point that you'd like to see one before the other has been made. This is not a contract for the survey. We actually discussed that in the previous contract with the financial advisor. Yeah, I mean, my view, we have to do a lot of work in parallel. We also have to have some ducks in a row to confer with our labor partners, as they've quite rightly stated. But we need to do many things in parallel, given the timing of this. So I understand this item and am ready to proceed with it. Some are not. So this is where somebody makes a motion and we see where we go.
Wait, before we do that, please, with all due respect, what is Vice President Andrade going to do? Is she recusing herself from voting on this because it's in relation to bonds? Her husband is the director of our bond program.
Yeah, I mean, I've actually conferred with our attorney on this matter before and got very different guidance from what we heard from our public comment so far. So that's, we've been given an indication there's no reason for it.
Okay, if that's the case, then again, with all due respect, I would like on letterhead, a stationery of the law firm, the attorney who signed off on that, along with the legal rationale as to why they did. I'd like that circulated to the board members, please.
Well, I'll make a request of our board attorney to get that.
My
documented.
understanding is that the bond director is currently paid through Measure G
yeah.
funds. This is unrelated to Measure G, correct? Okay.
And the issue at hand, just to make sure that we are Brown Act compliant, this is with respect to J1A, the contract for bond counsel to help us with the pre-work.
I don't think there's anything added in the discussion. We'll see how the vote goes. Somebody want to make a motion here? Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the item as submitted. Does anybody want to make a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Is this one the student board member votes on? Yeah, student board member, do you have a view? Okay, I think we'll have a roll call vote on this. If you could, please. As soon as the mic gets on.
President Horner,
Aye.
Vice President Andrade,
Aye.
Clerk Northrop Gaddis,
Aye.
Trustee Gardner,
No.
Trustee Munson,
Nay.
Trustee Marquez.
Aye.
Okay, that item passes 4-2 with one member absent. We'll move on to consent item 1D, ratification of contracts. Trustee Munson?
Yeah, so I wanted to pull one specific, or talk about one specific item from the contract. Let me just pull that up real quick. It's the last item on the contract. It's the educational consulting services. I just want to have a discussion about that as well. So I know that my understanding is that they help us with the Saturday School or Saturday Academy to recover the ADA, and I think it's a great, amazing program to support kids and to get them in and just to help them to recover that lost instructional time and everything. So it's a great program. So it's not against the program, it's just a inquiry about the contract or the company that we're going to be using to help us to do that. It costs $85,000 to do that. And I mean, I just did some rough estimates, and I think that was for 2 years. Am I correct? Okay. And I just did some kind of rough estimates based on like what we recovered last year. And I know that was kind of, we got started late and that kind of thing. So I totally get that. And then we just kind of barely just got started now. And so I just I did inflate, based on those, and I kind of inflated it. And so just from kind of my calculations and everything, it looks like we earn about, after we pay facilities and maintenance and all of that kind of thing, we earn about 37% of what we recover. And and I won't go through all of the things, but basically, the net profit for 1 year is about $45,000. And then, so that would, for 2 years, that'd be $90,000. And if we're paying $85,000 to the company to help us, that just doesn't seem like an effective way to, manage our budget right now. And so, I was just thinking, like, I know we're gonna have to make cuts, and I understand that they do certain things to help us in that, but I don't know that we couldn't have somebody in our, admin office or here, back office, to do that, to help with that. So anyway, I just wanted to have that discussion. I know that our budget is tight, and so, do we need to have that expense? Is that something that we need? Yeah,
One
just
of
have that conversation.
one of the measures, if you recall, based on the dashboard, one of the measures was chronic absenteeism. We continue to inch our way up and improve chronic absenteeism. We are not where we need to be. I believe we're currently yellow in chronic absenteeism. This company is a preeminent expert when it comes to ADA recovery through Saturday Academy, among other. Actually, the district who you work for uses them and has been using them for quite some time. Yeah. And in our research of this company, I reached out to several superintendents and asked them about their experience, et cetera. Your superintendent is quite happy with them. I just remember having that conversation with them. This is not something, it's a pretty Herculean effort, and it's not something that I could just give to somebody in the district office. There's technical savvy and technical expertise that this company does that is able to support us in the correction of the codes that we submit through CalPAS and the Student Information System, so on and so forth. I do not have anybody that could do that level of work unless I hire somebody else, and I'm not going to do that. So the $85,000 is for 2 years. What we are also, separate to that, the $85,000 has been earmarked in our LCAP, and LCAP supplemental is targeted for certain number, for some students that in particular are chronically absent, so are unhoused, our kids with disabilities, some of our English learners, some other student populations, and so that money belongs to those students. So we are correctly applying the LCAP supplemental dollars that benefit those students so that their attendance improves, so that they are able to make up for lost instruction, to be able to connect it to a safe place on a Saturday with a trusted adult, many of whom are our own teachers who are working on Saturday to be able to make these connections, et cetera. The data, I cannot confirm or validate the data that you are describing, but for the rest of the board and for those in the community, we've had 4 sessions, 4 Saturday sessions, and so we're just getting started on that. And it is accelerating, and it will be accelerating because for the first time in forever, the California Department of Ed and our state legislature is allowing us to make up missed attendance during the week. Before it used to only be on Saturdays. Now we can recover it during the week, and we have thousands of students who stay on campus after school, about 1,100 through our Amplify program, and clubs and sports, et cetera. So we're going to be recovering a lot more ADA through those participations and those after-school efforts, and this company will help us with that.
So just to clarify, this contract is for financial part of attendance recovery, both for the after-school and the Saturday?
Yes. Currently, they're helping us with our Saturday efforts, but we will now be pivoting and adding the after-school component as well.
At what point could we expect to see, I understand a lot of this is new to us, at what point could we expect to see a report on, okay, here's what happened this semester, this year, whatever, both in terms of, I mean, we want the educational outcome for students, and from my point of view, if we're only breaking even, which I hope we'll do better, if we're only breaking even and improving educational outcomes for students, that's still a win. I'm hoping for a double win that will both improve the education of our students and have some financial benefit. But when could we expect to see that kind of feedback?
We can provide semester updates to the board. We can certainly commit to that, and that'll give us more time to roll out the after school, during the weekday after school efforts, and also Saturday academies. Yeah.
So that would include both the some measure of the educational benefit, hours attended or something like that.
We can provide an overview.
As well as the financial, here were the costs, whether contractors, extra duty stipends, subs. I know some of this is being done by subs. Okay, I think that would be helpful.
We could do it twice a year for sure.
Useful discussion brought up by the question. Are there other questions or
No,
comments
no
on
other
this?
questions, but I know that you mentioned Dr. Chidas, and he may be really happy with it, but I'm not sure our union is very happy with it. So I just wanted to put that out there too.
Okay, other questions or comments on this item? Trustee Marquez?
So, Dr. Garcia, you mentioned the after school and the sports. So we get funded for the students that attend or participate?
We can now be. We can recover absences if students stay after school. Before, the rules only allowed us to do it, to recover attendance on a Saturday. But now the after school is in play.
Oh,
Yes.
So you're saying, so if a student,
And holiday breaks, I've asked Jesse to stay. Thank you, Jesse. So yeah, there are many opportunities where we can recover attendance. And this company provides technical expertise, and they have years and years of experience doing this work.
So that'll offset that $85,000.
Easily. And 85,000 is over 2 years.
Yeah,
So it's
right.
really 39.
so just as a hypothetical,
change.
if a student was out sick for a week or missed school for a week for whatever reason, but then next week they both went to school and went to the after-school program, some of that after-school hours could be used to recover their missed attendance from the prior week? Is that what you're saying? Is that correct? Please step up to the mic, Ms. Swift, because we don't want anybody on Zoom to miss your
Sorry,
insight.
they can also bank it too. So they can bank a certain number of hours. So like if you know you're going on vacation, so like say you go every year to Disneyland at Christmas time, you can plan ahead and you can actually bank during the week school hours. So you can say, I'm going to go and attend tutoring for so many hours ahead of time to be able to bank my attendance because I know I'm going to go on vacation during this time to be able to get those hours ahead of time. So
Putting
you
in
can do
overtime ahead of time and then.
Yeah, you can do so many hours. It's up to 10, but you can get some hours ahead of time and then you can recoup when you get back, and you can do Saturday Academy. And to the point of funding, there's two buckets, and please correct me if I'm wrong, Clover. We get ADA recoup, plus we get above and beyond funding. So there's two buckets that it's pulling into. So while we may recoup like net funds that you're calculating, we also are recouping the ADA from the kids, right? So next year's budget, when we look at that ADA recoup, we're getting that money back too for the funds that kids that we're receiving from their ADA. So there's two sort of buckets of funding that we're getting back. That wasn't included.
I'm sorry, what is ADA?
Average daily attendance. So every day we get paid on a student, and so when they're absent, we don't get paid. But when they attend, we then get that money back for their attendance, and it's a percentage based on their grade, age level.
Thank you.
And the math gives a lot of administrators headaches.
So the students that are staying after school, for instance, that are getting tutoring from perhaps a teacher, that counts.
That counts, absolutely, it counts. It helps to clear up absences, and which in turn helps the chronic absenteeism percentage. It reduces chronic absenteeism for our students.
Thank you.
Okay, any other
So
discussion on this
it's
item?
an investment that pays in many ways.
So with the discussion seemingly complete, do we have a motion on this item? Thank you, Vice President Andrade. Do we have a second? I'll second. Thank you, Trustee Marquez, student board member. This may not be unanimous, so let's have a roll call, just so I don't have to try and keep track.
Okay, President Horner,
Aye.
Vice President Andrade,
Aye.
Clerk Northrop Gaddis,
Aye.
Trustee Gardner,
Nay.
Trustee Munson,
Nay.
Trustee Marquez.
Aye.
Okay, that item passes 4-2 with one member absent. Item 3A, again, Trustee Munson, you pulled this item?
Yes, thank you. I had more of a question. So this job description for the facilities coordinator position, it did say that it will not result in a new admin position, because I think we're just transferring someone up. Are we replacing that person that we're transferring? So their position, are we replacing that?
No,
Okay, so that's just going to be taken off, no longer.
I
we're
think
not
it's fair to
replacing
say
that.
this is,
So this
an
is a
upgrade of a
reclassification.
position.
This is a
reclassification.
reclassification of an existing position that will not be replaced at the lower level.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
what I was saying,
Yeah.
because I mean, we're not replacing it, but we're replacing the bottom.
We're not
position,
replacing
So,
the supervisor position will not be replaced.
okay, because I know we're, again, in a budget crisis.
And we're well aware of that.
I know.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm looking at every single thing with these eyes of like, how are we going to save the district money? How do we keep it away from the kids in the classroom?
As are we.
Right? Yeah. So that's why I'm bringing it up and having this discussion. So yeah, I'd hate to see TOSAs be cut and we have this new facility coordinator.
And if I just may add, this does not impact the unrestricted general fund. This position is paid for by restricted dollars.
Can I
Trustee
add?
Marquez had a question,
sorry.
and then we'll come to you, Vice President.
Yeah, and it says here, this will not result in an additional administrator, and it's a conversion of an existing supervisor position into coordinator position. So when I read that, it was clearly stated.
No, I think I was just asking, then are they going to replace that person's position?
Right.
Yeah, that's what I understood as well.
So the position that's being reclassified is not, nobody new is being hired to backfill the other position. Did that answer your question? So Vice President Andrade?
I just wanted to add, and typically with positions like these is, they often save us money in the long run, because when you're constantly inspecting facilities and when you're constantly looking at things, I used to own a custodial business, so I know a thing or two about this. When you're constantly evaluating content, walking around, looking, inspecting property, you're able to catch things before they end up costing the replacement of it. And so I think, prevention, what is the saying? Ounce of prevention is a pound of intervention.
Pound of cure or something?
Yeah.
Very good. Okay, so do we have a motion on this item?
I motion that we approve
Thank you,
the
Vice President
facilities
Andrade.
coordinator.
Do we have a second? Thank you, Trustee Marquez. Student board member? And we'll see. Other board members, if you agree, say aye. Aye?
Aye.
Opposed or abstaining?
Nay.
Okay, so 2 nays. Trustee Gardner and trustee Munson?
She abstained.
Oh.
I said nay.
Okay, trustee Gardner is abstaining, and trustee Munson, were you abstaining or no? Nay, very good. Okay, so that passes with 4 ayes, 1 nay, 1 abstention, and 1 absent. Very good. We will move on to item K1. This is the public hearing regarding the joint proposal from the Morgan Hill Federation of Teachers and the Morgan Hill Unified School District to open negotiations on Article 15, class size. Hit the gavel, it says. Public hearing is now open at 8:07. Do we have any public comment on this item? We'll also be coming back to adopt it later, so does anyone wish to make public comment on this item? Can we close it at the same minute we opened it? Okay, so I think I'd have that down by now. So again, closing public comment at 8:07 and some number of seconds. So item K2, the adoption of the joint proposal from the Morgan Hill Federation of Teachers and the Morgan Hill Unified School District to open negotiations on Article 15, class size, and Assistant Superintendent Tavares will present the item.
Good evening again. We are very pleased to present this joint proposal to sunshine Article 15 with our labor partners, the Morgan Hill Federation of Teachers. And we would ask that you kindly approve our sunshine proposal so that we can get started together.
Very good. Did our MHFT rep wish to say anything in addition to the comments made earlier? Okay, thank you. Just being courteous, sir. Any questions or comments from the board? Hearing none, do we have a motion to approve this?
So moved.
Thank you, trustee Munson. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Vice President Andrade. Oh, sorry, a student board member, you're out on this one. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed or abstaining? Seeing none, that passes with 6 votes and 1 absent.
Thank you, trustees.
Thank you. And this will be complete, what, next week? No. Hope springs eternal. Hope springs eternal. All right, we'll give you a month. I guess I'm getting ready for Christmas. Okay, item L, any requests for future agenda items?
If I may?
Please, Vice President
Okay,
Andrade, and then we'll come to trustee Munson. I see you reaching the mic.
I had an interesting conversation with trustee Altman and myself, and we were talking about groceries and food. And she has been in correspondence with somebody from Reach Out Food Pantry. I understand that they work with Camise from our care team, but they have the capacity to provide food for families. And so I would like to see if maybe perhaps staff can coordinate and see if perhaps there can be more that we can do to ensure that our students are being nourished.
Absolutely. We already have a very robust relationship with them. In fact, Carol is sitting in on the panel with
Is it Carol
us.
Lilligan you were talking to?
Michelle McCormick? I
Michelle and
believe?
Carol.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, Carol's our point of contact, so she's sitting on our panel. Yeah, so absolutely, we'll continue to work
Perfect.
with them and share out the resources.
And then if you could just share out a board update, maybe perhaps, our next meeting, so that way we can kind of know.
Absolutely,
Right,
yeah, but the
perfect. Thank you.
partnership is already intact and strong. Thank you.
You know, I'll in a similar vein, Sherry, one of my colleagues on the Milpitas Unified Board, they have had a program since the 70s of a big community fundraiser at about this time that their board members are personally very involved in. And he said, maybe we can get a competition amongst boards going in different districts, but other ways we can think about, not as official board business, but as supporters of the community. I'm certainly going to reach out for Food Pantry and make a personal contribution. That's something we can all do as well, not in our official capacity, but in our knowing about the need capacity. So I would just put that out there for folks. Do you have anything else? Trustee Munson?
Okay, at a future soon date, if we can maybe have the discussion about the bond and parcel tax projects in that discussion, if I'd like to see that happen. And then also I wanted to see if we could get on the letter from the county approving our LCAP and our budget. They wanted to have an explanation of the reductions in expenditures because it says there's an unidentified reduction in expenditures for each year on 26 and 27, 27, 28. So if we could just get, whatever you're going to provide to them, that we can get that as well.
On the first item, that was already our intent to bring it back to you. The
Yeah.
bond and parcel tax, number one. And number two, you will be getting the updated list in December. So on your second request.
So that'll be part of our first interim
Yes.
report, is that correct? So coming soon, next month. Any other requests? Hold on, I think we'll come,
Actually, I did have one more.
okay, well,
When
let's
is
finish there, then we'll
when
go to
is
trustee
this-
Gardner.
The policy subcommittee meeting.
Yeah.
That's more for information.
Yeah,
I
so
know
we're
it's
the-
being scheduled. I was
We're in the
just wondering
process of scheduling that. Flavia will be sending out a doodle poll to the members of
Okay.
our policy subcommittee.
when. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Gardner? And-
So getting back, trying to get clarity on this, the polling and Dale Scott's function. Was it necessary for the board to give direction to have him start this survey and this polling process? Has he started it? Did we, I mean, I don't remember voting on this. Is this something we don't vote on? I'm very confused as to why.
We approved a contract with him 1 or 2 meetings ago. Maybe that's the one you missed. You were out sick for one. We did approve a contract.
Okay,
with
thank you.
with
That does
company.
help me.
It may have been one you missed from illness.
Okay, if we could, yeah, because it wasn't, I don't recall it from the last one.
I think, no, it wasn't.
It was a bit ago.
It was a little while ago. I'm pretty sure it was the meeting you happened to be
Yeah, I
out,
think it was you were absent.
out sick for. so that may
Okay,
be
thank
why
you.
don't
I
recall.
truly appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem. And yes, we will see more on that in future meetings. Is that it for you? Were you raising your hand? Trustee Marquez, please. Keep my neck going here.
I don't know if this is the right forum or the right time to bring this up, but I would like to have a discussion on, maybe for next year, the school start times and changing them or discussing the times of the schools start, because some of the middle schools are starting, their half day is starting at 10 o'clock, and it's a concern. These kids are running around, and what do they do until 10 o'clock in the morning? Some of them have things to do, others don't, and they're hanging out at the parks. So it's just a concern from some parents. So
Yeah.
I don't know if that's something that we can talk about or have a discussion.
Yeah, some of that has contractual implications. Those are conversations that we will need to engage with our union on, but we can certainly gather feedback.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, we can certainly gather feedback and then also figure out ways that we can support those families and provide a safe place for the student to possibly volunteer at their local elementary if needed, or maybe they
Yeah,
can.
and I know that's happening now.
Yeah.
But I mean, how many students are there that are starting at 10 o'clock in the morning? And there's only so much that we can accommodate for those, amount of students, and then the rest of them.
We also have Amplify because you're referencing the middle school specifically. So we do have Amplify, so we can certainly, I will take this issue back and work with our student services team who helps us oversee Amplify. Maybe we can come up with an effort, a robust effort to capture those students and have them come to Amplify and recover ADA if needed. But yeah, we can certainly look into that for sure.
Yeah, I know it's both in Britain and Martin Murphy.
Yeah, it's the 2 middle schools. It's the Wednesday late start.
And then
that.
even the 9 o'clock, I know at one time, for instance, Los Paseos and Martin Murphy, the schedule was around the same time for the start time, and it was just, the traffic was just convoluted. It was just awful. So I know they changed the start time to offset it, but now it's like, one is at 7:45 and the other one is at 9 o'clock.
If I may, it's a topic of great import and great interest, and also not on the agenda. So we're getting into discussing it a little bit right now.
Well, that's what I'm saying, is I'd like to have it as a topic
So
to
I
discuss.
fully agree, put it on the list.
Yeah.
Let's find a way to agendize an appropriate topic.
And I think there's a lot of work that we can do right now
Yeah.
to be able to support those students and capture those students who are currently unsupervised.
But
Yeah.
it-
And that's
It's certainly a very important topic.
Yeah.
Please capture it and let's find the time. You can do some staff work ahead of time, and then also when we can when we can have a further discussion here.
That's great.
I don't want to cut off the conversation. I'm just
No,
trying
no,
to
no,
stay
I
on the right
understand
side of the
that.
law here.
That's why I wanted to bring it up so
Yeah.
that we can have a discussion about it.
I appreciate that very much. Trustee Munson.
Can I
yeah.
just add one thing, just
Oh.
because I know that she's going to be working on that? The parents from Los Paseos, they have a big concern about the 7:45, because they get home late, kids, they don't spend time with their kids, they got to go to bed and get up. So anyway, just
Right.
keep that in mind when you guys are working.
Very
on that,
good.
If we could adjust that.
Anything else? Oh, Trustee Gardner.
Yes, thank you. Just for clarity, when are we revisiting the budget?
Our next major meeting on the budget is the December 1st interim. So that's, we will be looking at where we're at for this year. And then when do we start actually looking at proposals for next calendar year? Is that in December or a little later? So we're still working on, first interim is mostly about the year we're in, correct? So it's
It would be early spring when we would have discussions and comments. So
Right.
second interim, et cetera. Yeah.
The second interim is,
So when is the next approval for the budget for the board?
December, the next board meeting.
Okay.
right, but that's specifically for the year we're in,
Okay.
right?
So,
I think you're talking about next school year?
no,
Or-
I'm actually asking with regards to the questions I asked in August of
Okay.
last year. Supposedly, the answers are being worked on, and we were going to be given information prior to follow-up board meetings with regards to the budget.
Okay.
And still not seeing anything.
Understood, okay. So our next meeting, December, we will be addressing budget issues again. Anything else? It's not even 9 o'clock, we can keep going. Are you reaching for the paper because you're reaching for the paper to go, or because you have a question? Okay, very good. Then at 8:18, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you all very much.